Okay, so now it's time for the third car today, the Tahoe. We'll see what it needs. I know I'm going to do the rear brakes. So this one, the bleeder is stuck. The cap has been off for God knows how long. I'm soaking it in WD-40 right now. And then the inner pad is almost to the wear squeaker. And, well, don't know if this piston is seized or whatnot. It does move around back and forth, so I don't really know what's going on with it. But I got all my parts right here. I have a spare piston in case I need it. Otherwise, I have replacement bleeders somewhere in there. I'll be doing that. As you can see, there is a trans filter, so I'm going to be doing trans filter. This is a rear diff cover to replace the rusty one. It's not leaking or whatnot, but I might just replace it anyway, because I was going to get a gasket, but this thing was, I think, 20 bucks total for a brand new shiny aluminum cover, so I might just do that instead. Then I'll do the front diff fluid, and yeah, that's it. Had a good look under the car. I don't think the brake lines need to be replaced just yet, and the frame is still very solid, so I'm good with it as is. I'm just going to get started on the brakes, see where it leads me, because I do want to start towing very, very soon. And I don't want to tow unless I have good brakes and a good transmission. So stay tuned for Tahoe updates. Alright, so one side is done. I will have to say it took me a lot longer than I'd like to admit, but that's because it was kind of rusty back here. So it's really similar to the Honda. You have 12 mil. I'm only doing pads, so only the calipers coming off. 12 mil, like I said. Back here is a 13 mil. You want to take this off so you have some more play with the line, so you can swing your caliper out of the way. Then you want to, these metal clips, tabs, whatever, there's one here, there's one on the bottom on the other side of the pad, and then there's one up here which I guess holds it down. Replace all those three. That came with my kit. As you can see, I still had a decent amount, 4 mil, but the other side is bad, so that's why I was doing this. Like I said, go in dry with your pads. These pads, they gunk up. I don't like using anything else on. Just give them a good clean and then just throw your pad on. It should slide well. But these sliders, definitely grease them up, because they are sealed with this dust boot, so you shouldn't have that many issues. What happened with this is that they were dry, had a little like surface coat of rust on them, so sanded all that stuff off, put some grease on, and I put them back in, so now this guy is smooth again. This is not a bad caliper, so I am not doing anything with them, and I bled the brakes, I don't know, maybe a month ago. So this is all set. This thing is good. Now, let's go to the time lapse with the other side. Alright, so everything is back on. It's not torqued or anything, but that guy's still seized. So I'm gonna wrap everything around that's rubber in some tin foil, and then take a torch to that. And hopefully it breaks loose. Otherwise, I got that caliper waiting for it. It does suck because the pistons are good, and I'm guessing this is a new caliper, so we'll see. I got my longest 1/4 inch 6-point for it because I don't have a deep well 10 mil 3/8. So this will have to do. We'll see. If it breaks, it breaks. I got parts. So stay tuned. Alright, so it's dark out. Video completely went to crap. So I heated it up. First thing I did, tried to crank on it a little bit, snapped right off. So this is a reman caliper on there. Don't have the reman bracket because that sucked. I actually put it on, which was not a fun task because GM decided to Loctite the caliper bracket bolts in, so it's kind of tough to get off. Either way, got it off, put new reman bracket on, put the pads in, and they were wiggling. They had like a 1 to 2 mil play. Didn't really want that to happen. I was going to cause squeaks, rattles, whatnot. So threw the original bracket back on, and yeah, caliper's here. Bled finally. So there you go. Good tip: if you put some pressure on the brake pedal, the master cylinder won't be open, so all the fluid won't leak out. So you get minimal loss of fluid. Still had to bleed it. Also bled this side. I used the old guides on that side, and I used the new guides on this side because this side was worse. And now the whole rear, should be very good. Everything should operate smoothly. It was bled. Got firm pedal for once, as firm as I think a GM truck will get. So now I jacked up the front. Time to do more work, which is going to be rear diff fluid, tranny fluid, front diff fluid, and lastly I got spark plugs. So we'll see how all this stuff goes. I guess it's going to come in a different video. We'll see. I might just tack it on, and this might be, instead of a Tahoe DIY, it's going to be a Tahoe vlog. Alrighty, stay tuned.